And just to add on to that point about Monkey King versus Invoker, Monkey King is actually quite nice because when Questlock's Invoker tends to rotate around the map, Monkey King can match his pace very easily. He's not one of those mid heroes who needs to sit there and farm forever. He can do that, but he can also join these side lane fights very early on.
All right.
The concern for that is just he's playing versus Mars and Arena. It cuts down his trees and it's a counter in that regard, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be too concerned about it.
With the draft finalized, I'd like to ask you first, Effie. Pick whichever team and tell me the weaknesses and the strengths of that draft.
Well, we still didn't talk about the last two picks, so I'm trying to think about them in like larger context. But this Ember pick is quite good, right? Because what did they lack versus this IO? The backline jump. And they are going to have that in Shaker and Morphling later on in the game, but they do need that hero who can go in first. And because of having this Ember, it actually enables Ancient Apparition, because Ancient Apparition is a hero that likes to shoot his ults out whenever he has them. So in order for that to happen, they can't just sit back and wait for a Shaker blink timing, right? So Ember really makes up for Shaker's weaknesses in that sense. Oh, and it is a position for Monkey King, actually.
Closing thoughts on
kind of 5 Mars.
Closing thoughts on what you love about OG, please.
I love OG's pace here. They can play super fast. Crosswix Invoker, Ursa Wisp. There's so much tempo. Tusk. Secret's lineup needs a little bit more time to build up, so I think OG are going to play super hyper aggressive in this game, play very explosive Dota. If Secret can weather the storm and get later, I think their strategy is most likely going to win this game. Okay. So a very clear contrast between the two styles here with aggression versus more tempered gameplay.
And you asked about weaknesses in particular. I would just say that OG does have to play very well around these first couple of Aegises.
So you heard my panelist conclusions, but there's one man that I can't have on panel because it's just a bit too valuable. His name is BSJ, and he'll be giving you the last word for today.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, looking forward to this one massively. Secret versus OG up here in the upper bracket. Fog, we've had the draft in front of us.
Yep.
What are you excited to see? I'm already seeing so much that I'm sure the fans of both teams at home are going to be very excited for this match.
Lots of combo plays, lots of speed, especially from the side of OG, as panel has been saying, and like Brian did tick it off. Very kind of different styles that we'll be going for. Obviously, OG is going to be looking to set pace with this Ursa, with this Invoker moving around the map, but it's different. It's this fun that we're starting to get to see from them so much. It's the IO3.
Yes, so, and it's I mean, we saw sort of course, OG do this before.
Yep.
And this game again, why do you feel it works so well for them here in this first match against Secret?
I think it's just something they're super comfortable with. Seb's been playing it so many times, and they've always been a team about amping up their carries, right? What better than having like an IO that gets these high levels, fast-paced, like level 4 overcharge online, tether as well. You get items faster, your mech, your holy lock it. You set the tempo even faster as a 3-position IO than you were like a 5. Sure, mech is really cheap, so we see it picked up very early anyway on those like 5 IOs, but now it's like Seb is going to have it, and he's going to have these crazy levels that increases the healing as well, because that's what tether does when you get levels. So,
and you do sort of agree with Cinder in the sentiment, really. He says very much, you know, you're looking at this game, this draft, and we know, of course, how OG likes to play.
Yeah.
OG this game, they are going to want to, and they kind of need to play fast, because down the line with this more shakers, you just don't want to sort of get yourself into territory where you're having to deal with the fact that one of your heroes might get one shot.
Absolutely, and they're just going to get this crazy scaling. The team fight also, if you just look from Secret, it's a bit stronger as the game does progress. Once you start getting these levels on that Shaker, the AA, even the support Monkey King, it just starts to make everything a bit of a disaster for OG. But if they get a good tempo set, they have a good gold lead, then they're going to be able to still chain these kills. But we'll see if they can do that. But they do have the lineup to be able to, and tag team, Overcharge, Ursa, Alacrity, Roche is going to die quite a lot of times in this game.
Absolutely, and we're definitely going to see OG get a lot of usage, as you say, out of those sort of early brawling abilities that are really going to amp them up and make it rather hard for Secret to go toe-to-toe with them in the sort of the earlier half of the game. Do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a brief pause. I believe that the teams are just getting themselves ready and all sorted so we can get tucked in for a whole complete game of Dota 2, which, as I say, we're going to have action from the minute one, really.
Yes,
with this,
exactly. I'm wondering if, let's see, we'll probably see level 1 smoke from
Absolutely.
OG. They've got tag team, they've got IO. They've got the stronger level 1, even though sometimes it's a bit awkward because you have something like an IO and you're running to like Shaker. There's a Monkey King and an AI on the other side. There's a Morphling on the other side. So OG is going to look to hit hard right from the start of this game. And let's see if they do some, like, maybe, I wouldn't say like tri-lane or anything like that, but maybe just for the start, get a quick early kill on the Morphling, then swap the lane up. Could definitely see a possibility from the IO, the Tusk, and the Mars, since Tusk just works so good when you have so many more heroes for tag team.
Yeah. And so looking at the mid lane, Nisha versus Thompson here on the Ember versus Invoker. How do you expect that one to go, right? Thompson's not going to be too upset with the matchup, right? He's going to...
He should be okay.
Invoker, you can play around with the Ember quite a bit.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of, you got like good base damage. Sure, your Flame Guard's going to get dispelled in some situations, but you should be able to get these last hits. You're going to be able to pull creeps back, and, water runes are a thing. So all these heroes that can still go for the bottle, like Ember Spirit when you're playing versus Invoker, you're going to have that good sustain that just comes from it naturally. Well, he doesn't. So I know Brian was heavily talking about Saksa in this upcoming game, and I think we'll probably see him a lot of times looking to make those moves around those water runes early on, even the 6-minute rune.
I mean, and the same to be said for Yaps on the Monkey King, or is he going to be more needed in the lane, really? Is he going to have as much freedom as Saxa is to sort of roam around and look towards that mid to help sort of push the matchup in their favor?
I think it's more going to be Saksa checking, but yeah, he'll check. He'll check as well on Yapsor. I think he'd like to stay with the Shaker just as this melee versus Ursa. You don't want to leave him completely alone, right? So.
No.
Even though Shaker has done really well versus most of these melee matchups, Ursa can take advantage of it. Just one little pin from the Mars, even though it's a 5 position, and you should have the chase if there's no Monkey King there. So here we go.
Well, indeed, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The G has been called in chat. We are getting this match underway. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 of Secret versus OG here in the upper bracket. And indeed, of course, smokes up straight away from both teams.
Oh, yeah.
As a lot of potential for quite an early first blood this game.
Let's see if anybody scouts, if anybody breaks it. Of course, we have Yapsor as this courier dressed up, so maybe he'll be able to scout something for his team. Will allow them to dodge that quick aggression that's going to come. And let's see.
OG coming for the long way around here. They could get the good approach onto the high ground.
Immediately skills Cold Snap. That's the other thing too. Just always want to point out, some invokers we have seen at this tournament are skilling the Wex level 1 to get the EMP for the lane. That tells me even more they want to find the battle. And we're already having the taunts, of course, come out from Seb, claiming that high ground. And Secret doesn't want to fight. They know that it's too strong.
Absolutely not. No, you don't want to run into OG level 1.
No.
Especially when they've got the heroes they do this game.
See Yapsor also continuing. He's the courier form. He brings his courier out so that he's going to be able to turn back into courier form as well later on, so he can keep using that. That's why you see it pulled out of the base so early. Something we're seeing a lot more players do.
And overall as well, this game, what's sort of your feeling from the drafts? Like, do you prefer the approach of one of the teams this game?
I've been a bigger fan of speed lately.
Yeah.
It's just going to have to be speed and few mistakes, though, because I've seen very similar drafts like this also from, we got to cast that LGD Elephant game where they had that enormous gold lead the entire game, and then one little slip up, the Morphling, and the combo just ends up taking. That one was a Morph and a Willow, which also is incredibly powerful, but Morph and Shaker has its similarities. So for me, it's pretty even. It all depends on how the pace of the game starts going. Because if OG gets ahead, they can dictate pace and play around their low cooldowns. If Secret gets ahead early, then I think it might be a little tough for OG to bring it back. Level 1 Puppy gets gone on from tag team, instant TP, back to the lane.
That sort of eyes, as I say, both side lanes. I mean, which side lane is the most volatile, do you think? Who's got to be the most careful on this first couple of levels?
I feel like top has crazy potential of kills just because it's the double melee. Yeah, so it just makes 1 or 2 wrong steps. Same thing for No Tail. There's Jingu skilled right away on the Monkey King too, so that's probably the most volatile for me. bottom, the Io and Tusk have great kill potential on the AA. However, on the Morphling, I think Matu should be able to hold his own, because once he gets his like level 2, level 3, he's going to have a disengage, and he's also just going to have that incredible attribute shift.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, this top lane, the fact that this Monkey King Shaker against the 2 melees, I guess same could be said for the Mars and the Ursa. A lot of, potential to battle back, but for sure, you're going to see both teams taking early swipes at each other.
Stick is going to be really valuable up there for Zai. He started with it. He's playing versus the Rebuke. Even we expect that Earth Shock to come out from the Ursa early on too. So they're going to have a lot of mana to work with. And yeah, I'd say Secret, I give them a slight edge in the laning phase with their heroes the way it's set up at the moment.
So far top. Yeah, might have to be careful there, good Fisher. It's going to put a stop to any aggressive chase there from the 2 of OG. Mid lane Nisha having to play a little careful. He's got some regen out on the way, but rather low at the moment in that matchup so far. 8 for 2, 7 for 1. Pretty even here in the mid.
Thompson's gone just straight for damage. Doesn't finish up the null, just finished up a Robe of the Magi. I feel like he might go something like a drum. We've been seeing it from him quite a lot this tournament, and when he has IO, and it's all about pace, I think that's something he might be thinking about.
Oh, and there we have it, actually, bottom lane. Seb is the one to get first blood. Is he actually going to get Saxa out as well? He is. The heals are enough. Saxa doesn't even go down, as we see action on both side lanes, pretty much kicking off at the same time. But, of course, OG, they were the ones to get the kill first.
Bit of a slip up there. I think Matu missed the waveform onto Saxa to get that trade kill. And as we said, Puppey, he's the one who's going to have to eat the brunt of the force most of the time from this tag team. He is securing the farm for Matu, but he's going to die most likely a lot of the times he does go down there.
Matu definitely having to be careful, but so far the first wave, see though, losing the support by his side. Free farm for the Morph down here, 14 for 5.
And Sumail struggling since he's got that double melee versus the Monkey King who's holding skill point too. Yapsor may be deciding if he has another opportunity to...
Just get pushed back by the spear there. Won't latch though. The Fisher out. Sumail and Noto, they want to try and get Yapsor. Sumail looking to close in, but the Boundless strikes up. Yapsor turns into the tree. They take down Noto. Now he's going to look over towards Sumail. They've got him stunned. Oh, Sumail does get the kill. Can Zai get him in return? He can't. Sumail's got the boots, the movement speed. He'll make it away. So trade up there on the top lane, but of course Sumail may survive, but he's left in pretty bad shape there after that bruise up, and still struggling to come to the lane for CS. Struggling the most out of all the cores here in the early game, Sumail.
And Zai's always got mana to work with. That's what we're mentioning. These stick charges, he's always got a fissure, he's always got enchant totems. It's a tough one for Sumail.
And Yapsor may have died, but of course able to head over towards the mid. Get Nisha topped up and well.
That's where those deaths are kind of valuable. When you have bottle mids, you can always fill them up. Unlike for the Invoker, they can't fill up Thompson's. Because he doesn't have one, obviously.
I mean, what? Ooh.
Okay.
We have to control the water in here. What can they do about this top lane, OG? Can they make any sort of alterations to get this better for Sumail, or do they just have to tank this really rough start for the Ursa?
I think they have to tank it as bottom. Puppey, get it gone on.
Let's see if they can take it this time down. The damage from the tag team, it's enough here, Seb. Last hit comes in from the Iowa. Seb certainly off to a hot start indeed. I mean, maybe it will Saxa. Matu's got to be cautious.
He's very low.
Seb just sort of beating back into him, stopping Matu from being able to get in and get the trade kill. Sinisha attempt to get aggressive mid with the chains.
Thompson, he's got some creeps on him too. Said low on, he doesn't have enough mana.
Fairy Fire, I'll keep him topped up. Thompson's still alive for now. Nisha, can he still get in this? 11 of a slight chains in about 8 seconds. Thompson's still hanging around. In fact, he's got a stuck, but he has enough to get into the Ghost Walk. Thompson will stay alive.
Whew, really pushing the limit there, though.
Yeah, he
reveals himself.
Oh, Nisha's going to want to dive back in. He's got the slight chains. Thompson, I mean, the flame guard up. Nisha's going to have the damage. Thompson there making a bit of a mistake, getting greedy, trying to reveal himself to keep hitting the creeps, but he had no regen and no chance against Nisha with the second round of spells with the abilities of the Ember.
And Nisha's able, after the kill, walks into the enemy high ground on the triangle and also gets himself a bounty. So that's very fortunate for him. And yeah, big mistake there from Thompson.
I mean, it's, so far, just a 1k lead, but you saw it there in the CS. All 3 of Secret's cores across the board, getting solid farm in the lanes, whereas OG, they're having a bit of a slower time in the mid and that top lane.
And Secret's the one who, as we were mentioning, later game scaling is really good. You see this Morphling having a way better start than the Ursa. It's definitely some concern. So I think Saxa, he's going to have to be the one that we look at to kind of fix these lanes up for the team. Seb's done pretty damn good, but he's going to have to especially help out Sumail up top.
Absolutely. We've got to see big moves from Saxa.
Yeah. It's only level 3, too. It's not like he has this insane type of level advantage where you see some of these 4 positions have. Yapsor is actually level 4 before Saxa hits it, so a little bit harder to make all those aggressive moves when you don't have all three of your early abilities, like the snowball, especially versus something like Earthshaker and Monkey King. Snowball, very useful.
That's Hobson.
Nice to know.
To get in and take that away from Nisha. Looking for the bottle refill.
Yeah, just not slowing down Matumba, man. A definite concern.
Sumail's starting to get a bit more space. The pressure's definitely begun to lessen a little bit, top, with Yapso making those movements over towards the mid. So a bit of breathing room for the Ursa here.
Only for a second or so, because Zai is going to hit 6 really soon. We'll see him make the move, Matu.
I'm going to try and go on Matu. Not quite enough damage there to stop him from shifting. Still have to chase down with the tag team. It's not enough. He's got the strength built up. Matu will be able to walk away.
Zai likely to be 6 after this lane, and that's where Sumail's going to have a lot of difficulty as he's still not level 6 on the Ursa.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
He's double melees up there.
The walk in for a potential slam could be deadly.
Does have his treads picked up, so he's a little bit tankier once he's got them on strength.
On No-Tail.
No-Tail.
Just struggling to sort of trade with Yapso. Spears off the mark. TP's coming in here for OG. Thompson, he's in with the backup. He's come to try and rectify this top lane for OG. Catch onto Yapso. He'll set up for a kill between the three of them, and this very much needed. OG, they've got to try and get this top lane in a better condition.
And he's got the urn picked up at a perfect time so he can make that move, and immediately he does queue up the drum. As expected, you know, we've seen him do it a couple of times now, especially when they have the IO lineup, and as we said, OG, the slow start is here, but the pace of the game is going to get picked up incredibly fast.
Yes, you know, you sort of blink and you miss it sometimes with the speed that OG sort of goes from 0 to 100. So it could absolutely still happen here in this early game. Still early days. 7 minutes in, 3 to 4. Less than 1K lead at the moment for Secret. There's still absolutely potential for OG to just explode in these early moments.
Yapsor making the move down bottom. They see him with the wards, but he's here already.
Yeah, they get a good primal spring jumping onto the two of them. Nice snowball off to the side. Saxer able to separate them a little bit, but now let's see if they get into Matumba Man turning into the tusk there to use the snowball against OG. Closes in on Seb, gets the kill, and Yapsor might not even be done. He's got another spring in a few seconds. Does he want to go up into the triangle? He does. He's keeping his eyes on Saxer. Not quite land with the slow though, and Saxer will manage to make it back to the safety of his tower with that. But still, as to Seb, the off-lane IO taken out of the lane here.
More space for Matu to heal back up to full from the Morbid Mask. Zai playing careful top, level 7 already. Very close to his Blink Dagger already. 800 off with the treads. Sumail's just had to leave the lane. I don't think he wants to be up there anyway, and they need to start getting better levels on the 2 supports for the side of OG. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to do that run-at strategy that they want to do in the next few moments.
And Yap's already been quite the nuisance for OG here, just sort of jumping around with the vision he's giving. And OG, at least with the two of them, Saxer and Seb, struggling to really get their hands on this Monkey King in the trees, bouncing around.
Seb already has Holy Locket done, so that's what we were talking about, where you get these items so much faster as this off-lane. Gonna be able to make some nice aggressive moves, but they're on him.
He's gonna try and go, but a quick tether over to Saxer will break the distance.
He's too fast.
Doesn't even want to commit further there. Yapso knows, even with the boundless strike, they just don't quite have the damage, even with the three of them to blow up Seb whilst he has Saxer by his side.
Not quite yet. Puppy still only level 5. I thought they were going to actually move the Morphling out of the lane and then send the AA bottom to get that 6 early on to deter OG from going that run at you. Since once they have AA 6 also, you know, Holy Locket is online for IO, but that's going to be counteracted quite heavily when Puppy does get 6.
Absolutely, yeah. If he can land these blasts, it will be a complete thorn in the side here for the way that OG want to fight in that mid game.
And they have setup, right? They have Shaker Fissure, they have Chains, they have Monkey King Bound the Strike, a lot of different ways for them to set up that blast. That's 10 minutes.
Looking over towards Nisha, but Nisha is going to be able to set up anything on them. No, doesn't want to try. Thompson, just get the initial grab here. Nice EMP. Oh, he was waiting for Sumail. He was ready. Sumail, if he gets this, it's going to be a lovely kill here for the Bear. Sumail set up in perfect position. You know, he's had a bit of a sad time in the jungle, but he's able to head over to the mid lane, get a kill on Nisha. Top lane as well, OG, they turn over towards Zai. Have a little bit of a wait there to really amp up that final blow there that No-Tail delivers to Zai.
Zai used Echo up there too, and they were able to sustain up from the IOTP. Then now it's going to be on cooldown for a very long time, which is going to be a signal to OG.
Yeah, I mean, this is
to run.
Look at Sumail now. We saw how rough of a start he had. He's second highest in the net worth there, getting that pickup from that huge kill on Nisha in the mid.
And they're pressuring bottom now with the 5 position Mars with the IO. Matu's had to leave the lane.
You can feel it, that the pressure, it's building up from OG. It really is. Thompson getting deep in the jungle, looking for Puppey. Has his mana gone? Has he got enough damage on his zone? Oh, it's the Irma ticking out. Backup comes in. He gets the kill, Thompson, but it looks like he's probably going to die for this, as he's trying to escape them, but there is no running from Zai, Nisha, and Yapzor. So he gets in, he gets a kill, but maybe a little too deep that time from Thompson.
He did force 4 heroes there, though.
I guess that's space.
Space for Io to get the finished farm bottom,
true.
Tusk to get the levels top, Ursa to get more farm too. So at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's a Thompson move. Because that's what he likes to do. Sacrifice himself for the greater good. Zai does have a Blink Dagger finished up, though, off of that kill. So there is going to be some responses that come out from Secret after they get those kills. Also, a Maelstrom finished up on the Ember, so Secret does have a bit of a timing where they can fight back. That's the one thing, is we were talking about how OG is looking to set tempo constantly with this fast-paced draft, but it's not like Secret isn't going to be able to fight back with their heroes.
Absolutely not. Yeah, Secret, they'll certainly be ready to have a shot back at them. Let's see if they can set up to sort of make a jump and a good reveal with that Blink Dagger on Zai's Shaker. Smoke up already. In fact, from Yapzor and Nisha, they're leading the way up top. It's just Saxer up here at the moment, soaking up some XP around the tower. Matu's starting to take the tower. They'll dive in straight away. Set up there with the chains, in with the Remnant. TP's coming in. It's actually going to continue top. He does want to try and look for the counterplay. Rugo's command is down. Jump off the side. Nisha is able to break away with that last bit of mana. Ice Blast goes crashing straight over to Seb. Headshot there from Puppey. As he lands it on the Io, no healing for Seb. Seb's out. Thompson trying to run with the sentries. There are plenty here from Secret, so they lay them both down. Thompson, he's got the move speed though to get out of the range, so Thompson will sneak away. But a big hit there from Secret up on the top lane, and that's the move you said. They knew that OG, despite losing Saxer at the start, OG's the kind of team that will turn up and try and fight around that tier 1. Secret, they were prepared completely for that.
And look at the pace.
It's
They're
a quick
smoking
move.
again instantly, though. The smoke's going to break.
It is. They know they're in the pit. Puppey's going to know exactly what's going on, surely. Smoke dispels, he checks it out. This is risky from Sumail and Saxer. They've got to run down side. He's in, catches the two, and they'll jump over the road and a barrel strike follow-up. They're both dead.
And it's half HP. They might consider even going for it themselves if they get some more follow-up kills.
He's ready to chase up to the high ground. Thompson and Seb will be able to hold them back. Quick slide for Nisha, keeps them low, but Seb will heal the two of them up. But as you say, Roshan, it's in a bit of a juicy position here for Secret. It's still not too easy for them to really go for it, though.
Yeah. Big hit, though. Nisha with some really nice individual plays there, dodging out the EMP, dodging out the Mars ult, and everything around that tower, setting them up now for a 2K lead, and still looking to respond.
He's trying to set things up there, No-Tail. Quick poke stops Matu from being able to lead in.
That hurts OG quite a lot.
I mean, it was a risky play there, trying for that Roche. A very, very risky move. Does not pay off. Secret shut it down.
And they weren't even looking for the rush. They were just smoking to move across the map, and they're like, oh, wait a minute. Look at that. So very fortunate for the side of Team Secret, having a Haste now on the Ember Spirit. Zai, as we mentioned, Echo Slam still on cooldown, but they've responded in great force versus the aggression of OG. Even though the relocating the numbers are attempted to be there from OG, Secret was ready. And as you mentioned, the snipe, of course. Puppey getting that big AA blast on the IO. That's going to be the crucial thing.
He's going to do it every time, yeah.
This IO, if you look at 20 Holy Locket plus mech, he's going to be able to let full heal anybody they do go on, unless that AA blast does come over.
Absolutely, all about Puppey getting that hit in. I see OG. I think they pretty much have the defusal done on Sumail, so yeah, it's just a few hundred gold off it. Any sort of other items at this stage that each team is waiting upon to have their sort of next power spike?
I don't think so at all. I think that
just go when they want.
Secret is extremely happy with this pace of the game right now. Morphling, like Matu's just getting the free farm while they're also still defending towers. I think OG just needs to keep looking to make these plays. I think if they sit back and look to wait for something, the game's going to quickly fall out of their favor.
I mean, well, yeah, as you say, you're seeing more for the top net worth here,
Yes.
and if that's happening, Secret's happy.
Yeah, they've got defusal now. They got a medallion also on the Invoker. This is another go time. Smoke up, look for a play immediately with this.
There we go, in immediately from OG, Seb. Sumail and No-Tail. Seb, of course, ready to take Sumail in with a relocate if No-Tail finds a solid setup for the arena.
They have to start finding these big kills. Slow down the Morphling, slow down the Ember Spirit. Still difficult, though.
Go for the D ward here, so Secret will be aware that they're coming in from the side. Secret grouping up here in preparation for some sort of jump from OG.
They've got the big ultis. That's the one thing that's Secret, especially if they've got the high ground advantage. They have those humongous team fight ultimates in comparison. OG a lot more limited because it's a 5-position Mars who has to walk his way in to try to place his arena.
I mean, some nice little moves there from Saxon, moving himself and all illusions independently there. So Secret did have to guess a bit of what was happening. Sumail's trying for the Roche again. He's in the pit. He's getting bashed. He will be able to jump out there away from the Fisher, but I mean, they really want to try and get this for Sumail, but again, it's just such a risk when Secret's all up at the moment. As you say, Secret, they're more than happy to jump in for the fight. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to get Roshan like this if you're OG.
But they have to. That's the lineup. They need to get that Roshan advantage for the Ursa. That's why you see both teams just heavily emphasizing in the area. But yeah,
Secret's not going to let him.
Secret's got this Ice Vortex, 40 mana. I mean, Puppey can pretty much infinitely throw it in there to get the scout if he's in the area.
It's very hard for OG to find. They need to get some sort of action first.
Showing the IO top, Seb. So have to be a bit careful of his positioning. He's split away from the Ursa too, so that means the relocate play is not going to be available for OG to get the numbers. So Secret, they're looking to catch him when he's split away.
If they can get the setup a little too deep here, TP immediately comes in from Saxa. Rest of OG starting to head up as well. So Secret, they won't dive any further. Yeah, as long as Secret can sort of keep the pressure on, keep OG distracted and away from Matu, they're only going to be able to increase that lead that Matu has. Already about 1k ahead of the farmer Sumail. Matu much more happier to just spend time hitting the creeps. He is going to step at OG, they're right on the shadow here. And Matu knows. He's keeping it cautious, keeping it cool, and making sure that OG can't get the jump on it.
He's going to have his Manta done any second now. And then he's going to go straight for that Aghanims afterwards, as we expect with that Earthshaker combos. And as we've seen to expect and come to expect from Topson when he's playing this Invoker, he sometimes does go for this more buff-up strategy, just the Alacrity plus that Solar Crest to make his Ursa, or whichever edge carry that much stronger.
Absolutely, just give Sumail the best game he can possibly give him.
Yep. No tail sneaking in, but he's under vision.
I'm going to start things on him. He'll put the arena, but a quick jump from Nisha, dodges the spear. Backup's coming in from the side. Thompson bumped up by Seb as they look to lead in. Saxa, he's caught Zai as well at the top left to stop Zai from being able to get the jump in. He has to be down Zai's out of mana. Seb caught by the chains, hit by the blast as Seb goes down.
Nisha, time and time again this game, dodging the spears, dodging the Marzolds, dodging the EMPs, just being a rightful nuisance for OG.
A good read from Saxa, though. That fight could definitely have gone a whole lot worse for OG. Saxa just making sure that he can find Zai's Shaker at every possibility.
Zai's resetting though, going back to base, healing up, and he's still got Echo Slam. They didn't have to commit anything big on the side of Secret. AA Blast still cooldown for 30 though.
I mean, OG's still trying to fight into it. See Saxa and Thompson coming up the high ground. Zai's going to jump, start the fight straight away. The Evoker snowball over from Saxa. Gives the time for Thompson to reset. Matu, wait for it. Zai trapped in the shots. He'll get taken down. Rukon Tamar comes down. Nisha with a newly picked up PK. He grabbed the ball. Runs down Saxa. Turns over towards Sumail. Sumail trying to put the erase to get out of there. OG, have they got any backup for Sumail? Steps back out with a relocate. Sumail now without the ult, he's in trouble. Matu turns into the touch, uses the shot, but Sumail's everyone. Shock out of there. Yapsel up into the sky. They got him down. They got him down for the tree. Spin comes out. Ice block. Boundless strike straight onto Thompson. But Thompson, he's still trying to down a fight. He can't survive for it all. He'll go down. Motel over to Yapsel. Sumail. He's on top of Puppey. Puppey to fall. They found another. OG will come out on top of this fight.
Right next to Roche as well.
This is what they were looking for. A huge fight for OG, sets up the Roche with 3 still dead on Secret. There's no stopping OG from taking this.
And Topson ate the brunt of the force, but the AA Blast, as we mentioned, it's got it nerfed so many times in the past, was still on cooldown for a good 20 seconds when they initially jumped Topson. The heals come out, and then they're able to pretty decently turn the fight. Matu's still alive, though, does get a kill on no-till, while the Roche is claimed by Sumail. But a pretty solid fight for OG, all things considered. When it's a BKB reveal on Nisha, and the Wukong's command was there layered from the whole fight.
I mean, it looked like it was going to fall apart for OG as well. You see this chase. Matu was a cool move here as the Tusk trying to control Sumail, but he couldn't. Good control as well, taking Yapso out of the trees, stopping that spring jump forward, which would have allowed them to kill Thompson off much quicker.
That spear was huge.
As OG, that was exactly the fight they needed here to begin to get that momentum, that sort of power back under their wings.
And look at this, Sumail is going to go straight for that Aghanims build on the Ursa. Just more survivability. He's going to be able to constantly be that rightful nuisance inside the fights, stick on targets. Again, the bottom.
Oh, goodbye, Thompson. Down the line is I mean, Seb,
reload.
he might be in trouble as well.
boy.
Did try and come in to help out. He's pretty tanky, not tanky enough to deal with Forest Secret beating him down. They got to get out of there, the rest of OG. No fight had as a bit of a slip up, and Seb getting baited into it as well.
Can't make too many of those mistakes. Even though you've got this Aegis and all that, you know, you've got this quick pace lineup, you don't want this game to drag on. You don't want to allow this Morphling to finish up and farm that Aghanims, which he is going to get eventually in this game. He's already got one component. So they've got the blink now on No-Tail, so just keep going. That's the one thing is they have to still look to keep making these plays, even if they do lose Topson every now and then. It's just what they have to do with their draft. Otherwise, as we say, they will get outscaled.
Well, let's see how much they can get done with this Aegis.
See how much they can get
Monster
done.
Mouth, 3 minutes to really push the issue here for OG.
See what No-Tail finds with his blink review.
Trying to look for the jump.